ready for a deep dive into the world of numbers.
Always.
Today we're tackling factors.
Facts.
Yeah. It's this game, right? It makes learning about prime factorization, like, surprisingly fun.
Okay.
So, picture this. 2 players, a 10 by 10 grid, numbers from 1 to 100. Simple, yeah?
Sounds pretty straightforward so far.
But hold on, because trust me, there's way more to this game than meets the eye.
I'm intrigued. Lay it on me. What's the goal?
Okay, so the goal is to, like, shade in as many spaces on that grid as possible.
Right.
But, and here's the catch, you gotta choose a number, let's say 12, right? You pick 12 and you shade in all of its factors.
Okay, and for those who might have forgotten what factors are.
Oh, good point. Factors, they're the numbers that divide evenly into that number.
Exactly.
So for 12, you'd shade in 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12 itself.
I'm with you.
And this is where the strategy comes in.
Ah, I see.
Because choosing the right number each turn, that's crucial. Is how you're going to outscore your opponent and claim that victory.
It's fascinating how such a simple game can unlock these fundamental mathematical concepts.
It really is.
Because as you play, you inevitably start noticing certain numbers on that grid.
Yeah.
They're harder to shade in.
Yeah.
They're like the last kid's pick for dodgeball, you know.
I love that analogy.
And these are your prime numbers, only divisible by 1 and themselves.
Think 2, 3, 5, 7.
Exactly. They stand alone, proud, indivisible.
And the game makes it so visually clear, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
It's like those prime numbers are practically jumping out at you, begging not to be shaded.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they're not just these mathematical oddities. Prime numbers are the building blocks of all other numbers. We call them composite numbers.
Right.
Prime factorization. It's essentially taking any composite number and breaking it down into its prime factors.
So like 12 is 2 by 2 by 3.
Exactly. It's like uncovering the hidden DNA of a number.
Yeah. You know, you're making me think about numbers differently, I have to say it. But I have a feeling, I don't know, some people listening might be thinking, okay, this is cool and all, but how does this connect to, like, the real world?
Right.
It's not like we're, constantly factoring numbers in our daily lives, are we?
You might be surprised. Think about something as simple as online shopping.
Okay.
Every time you enter your credit card information, prime factorization is working. Behind the scenes.
Wait, really?
Keeping that data secure.
No way. Tell me more about how that works.
It all comes down to the difficulty of factoring really large numbers. Even the most powerful computers struggle with it, especially with prime numbers. This principle, it forms like the bedrock of a lot of encryption algorithms we use today.
Okay, that's pretty mind-blowing. So prime numbers, they're not just some theoretical concept, are they? They're like the unsung heroes of our digital lives.
Absolutely. And their applications go way beyond cybersecurity. We see prime factorization pop up in data analysis, engineering, even music.
Music. Okay, now that is where it gets really interesting. I am all ears.
Well, think about it. Musical scales, rhythms, they're all built upon mathematical ratios, mathematical patterns.
Okay.
These ratios, these patterns, they're directly tied to factors and multiples, creating those harmonies, those melodies we love.
That's it's like the simple game factors. It's like a gateway to understanding the entire mathematical symphony of the universe.
That's a great way to put it. And this isn't just, us geeking out over math.
Right.
Factors.
Right.
It aligns with those important educational standards.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like Common Core Math Standard 6NS4.
Right, right. Which emphasizes fluency in calculations, multi-digit numbers, finding common factors.
Yeah.
So it's like while kids are busy trying to strategize and win, they're also building this solid foundation in math without even realizing it.
Subconscious absorption at its best.
I love that.
And the best part, factors. It isn't about just drilling multiplication facts.
Right.
It's about understanding the why behind the what.
Yeah.
It's about making those connections and developing.
Yeah.
Like this deeper comprehension of how numbers interact.
It's true.
It's so much more than memorization.
Yeah. It's like factors is like secretly making us better at math while we're just trying to, beat our friends or family.
Exactly.
I bet people listening are already thinking about like how this game could be fun in a classroom or for family game night.
Oh, absolutely. And that's like a key takeaway here, Learning doesn't have to be a chore.
Right.
Factors proves that when learning's engaging, when it's enjoyable, those aha moments,
Yeah.
they just happen naturally.
Totally. Okay, so we explored how to play, we've talked about prime and composite numbers, we even uncovered those like surprising real-world applications.
Yeah.
What were your personal highlights from, all the research we did?
That emphasis on developing fluency with factors and
Okay.
multiples really stood out for me.
Okay.
It's not just about finding a factor. It's about recognizing all the factors of a number quickly and efficiently, yeah. Remember that feeling of, like, mastering your multiplication
Oh,
tables?
yeah, for sure.
That same fluency with factors, it unlocks so much more in math.
It's like having all the right tools, right, in your mental math toolbox,
Exactly. And like any skill, practice makes perfect, right?
right?
But the cool thing about factors, the practice is disguised as this fun, engaging game.
Oh, totally.
Players are so focused on strategizing, on winning, they don't even realize how much they're reinforcing those essential math skills.
Effortless learning. I love it. And the sources we looked at, they mentioned a bunch of different ways to actually play the game.
Yeah.
Any variations stick out to you?
I really like the idea of using dimes or even other objects to cover the numbers.
Oh,
It
interesting.
adds this tactile, this visual element. That can be super beneficial for some people.
Right, because then you're actually like seeing how many times, 5 is a factor within those 100 squares.
Precisely. And then for those who like a little more of a mental challenge, there's that variation where you're assigned specific numbers.
Oh,
And you have
God.
to figure out, are they prime or composite?
Oh, I like that.
It really encourages that deeper thinking, that deeper analysis.
I love how factors has like those layers. It's not just about following the rules.
Right.
It's about actively, thinking about numbers and how they relate to each other.
Exactly. And that's what makes this game so much more than like, just a way to pass the time. It's a gateway to understanding the elegance, the logic behind numbers.
It sounds like factors is more than just a fun way to spend an afternoon. It's like a tool for unlocking this like deeper understanding of like patterns and connections that like shape our world.
It encourages this different way of thinking about numbers,
Yeah.
which can be so powerful.
It really can. Okay, so we've established factors is more than just a game. It's a gateway to deeper math understanding, a tool for effortless learning, and even, I don't know, like a secret weapon for better strategic thinking.
And it reminds us that learning can be engaging, it can be surprising, maybe even a little bit addictive.
Okay, so we've spent a lot of time with factors, right?
He really dove deep.
We uncovered those like hidden depths. We talked about those surprising connections to, our everyday life.
Yeah.
And as always, we like to end these deep dives by giving our listeners something to ponder.
Food for thought.
Exactly, like a final thought to take with them on their, numerical adventures.
So here's a question for everyone listening.
Yeah.
How could you use what we talked about today, the ideas of like, factors and
Yeah.
multiples and prime and composite numbers,
Yeah.
how can you use those to like get better at problem solving, like in your daily life?
Because let's face it, we see numbers everywhere all the time.
Right.
From like splitting a check at dinner to like trying to figure out the best deal at the grocery store.
All the time.
Yeah.
While we might not always, whip out a game board of factors,
Right.
having that underlying, that basic understanding of how numbers work, it can give you a real advantage in those everyday situations.
It's like having a superpower almost, like a mental lens to help you see the patterns, the relationships that are like hiding in plain sight.
Exactly. And the best part is, this isn't just for math whizzes. This is for everyone.
Totally. So whether you're a teacher who's, looking for a fun way to teach prime factorization, a parent who wants to like challenge your kids with a game that's like secretly educational,
Right.
or even if you're just someone who, I don't know, you just like a good mental workout,
Yeah.
factors might just be the thing for you.
It's proof that learning and fun, they're not mutually exclusive.
Right.
They often go hand in hand.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So I don't know, what are you waiting for? Grab a factors board, grab some friends or family, and get ready to unlock this whole world of mathematical wonder.
It's out there.
You never know what you're going to discover.